What you are about to watch is the greatest course out there on how to build $1 million brand on Amazon, period. And guess what? It's 100% free. How can I say this with 100% confidence? It's because 5 years ago, I sold my Amazon brand for $30 million at age 26. It was called the Genius brand. At my peak, it was doing $3 million in revenue per month. And once I sold it, I officially had fuck you money. Today, I live in a tropical mansion in Puerto Rico with my beautiful wife and 2 girls. And now, I'm building a new brand, Top Shelf. After just 24 months of launching, Top Shelf is already doing $1 million per month in revenue. This last year, it did $5 million. And this next year, I'm aiming to take it to $25 million. But here's the crazy thing. It's that I can sell this brand right now for $4 or $5 million if I wanted to. But the problem is, a couple $1 million isn't gonna change my life at all. So I'm not stopping until I can sell this new brand for at least 9 figures. Yes, that's right, $100 million. On top of that, I'm partnering with a bunch of other exciting brands as well with my venture fund. Why am I able to repeatedly create new profitable brands from scratch over and over again? It's because none of this is luck. No, Amazon and the Amazon algorithm is a coldly calculated game. A game where if you learn the rules, you can win over and over again. And in this free course, I'm giving away all my secrets. From how the Amazon algorithm works, coming right from the mouth of a guy who bribed an Amazon employee to see the source code, you're gonna learn why using Amazon FBA is 1,000,000 times smarter than trying to build a Shopify store on your own where you have to drive all of your own traffic, how much money you need to start, what your margins are gonna be like, how to pick the best product that can go viral, how to find the right manufacturer, how to design your own label and packaging, along with my new secret strategy that just made me $500,000 last month, to ultimately how to create a brand that you can potentially sell for millions of dollars. And yes, I am gonna go over how I went about actually selling my Amazon brand to private equity at the end. Because sure, $30, $50, even $100,000 per month in profit is nice, but getting a $30 million deposit into your bank account is where life really changes. No one is spitting this much free game out there. No one out there teaching Amazon has as much actual experience as me. None of these Amazon gurus are even selling on Amazon themselves anymore, because selling you a $500 or $1,000 Amazon course is way easier. But I'm about to mess it up for all of them. This is why I say with certainty that this is the best Amazon course out there and you are getting it all for free. And my promise to you is that if you go all the way through this free course, you will have everything you need to hit the ground running with your own Amazon brand. Whether you just want to replace your 9-to-5 income or you want to go for that big fuck you money exit like I did. And you're going to learn all of this without ever having to give me a penny. And this is not some get-rich-quick scheme like drop shipping or Walmart arbitrage where you literally just repost some cheap products you find on Alibaba so you can make 10 cents off of it. That's for children. No, this is about creating real products that you design from the ground up and that actually solves problems for people out there. That's what entrepreneurship is about. This is about creating real brands that people see on Amazon and are like, oh, I've seen that brand somewhere. It looks trustworthy. It looks like a real company. They must be good. And that's why it works. That's why you don't see drop shippers getting 7-figure or 8-figure exits. Jeff Bezos and Amazon changed my life. And if you want to change your life, then put aside your Netflix series you were going to watch and just commit to the next 60 minutes or so of watching this video. You'll be surprised at how simple this game actually is once we're said and done here. I don't have a course to sell you at the end. Again, everything you need to get started is in this video. And hey, if you want to see me build Top Shelf to 9 figures in real time along with some of my other investments, subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram, Rob the Bank, where I'm able to share my latest tricks way faster than YouTube. So without further ado, welcome to $1 Million Brand Club, and let's make some motherfucking fuck you money. And it all starts with understanding exactly how to get the Amazon algorithm to print money for you. Since its inception, Amazon FBA has already made 60,000 millionaires, and that's data from back in 2021. Today, the number is likely closer to 100,000 or more. So why is it so common for people to become millionaires with Amazon? Because as long as you have a good product that people want, Amazon will promote your product to their 310 million Prime shoppers for free. This makes your life so much easier and cheaper compared to some chump who starts a Shopify store and has to constantly drive all of the traffic themselves. Let's take a look at one of my products, Kingmaker from Top Shelf as an example. Don't worry, we'll go over how to pick a winning product and all of that good stuff later. And no, you don't have to sell supplements yourself. Just use this as an example for now. I sell Kingmaker for $130 per bottle. At $130 per bottle, you would only need to sell around 100 units per month to reach over $10,000 in monthly revenue. That's just 3 to 4 sales a day. In order to reach 20,000 a month, you'd need less than 200 sales, and that's just 6 to 7 units per day. But in order to make $1 million per year, for that, you'd need around 640 sales every month. Again, that's just 21 sales per day. That may sound like a lot right now, but when you consider that even the worst local businesses in your area can get more than 21 sales per day, and when you consider that small and medium-sized businesses on Amazon sell more than 4,000 items every minute, trust me, anyone watching this video can get to 21 sales a day. 21 sales a day is nothing when you have the Amazon marketing machine behind your back. This is a brand new brand and product that I started from scratch. I didn't have to ship any of the products myself. I didn't need to get a warehouse, loads of staff, sales team, none of that. And since I'm selling on Amazon and not on my own Shopify store, I don't have to drive all of the traffic myself. See, just like how YouTube has an algorithm that decides which video it promotes, which is probably how you found this video, Amazon also has an algorithm. And if you can get the algorithm on your side, it will make millions for you on autopilot, just like it does for my product. See, Amazon has a big task. They have millions of customers that are looking for stuff to buy. They have millions of products, and somehow they have to match each and every customer with the best possible products they think the customers are going to buy, which is pretty daunting. There's no way they could manually do this. So they created an algorithm to recommend good products to the customer. This is on the homepage, in the search results, when you search for something, so on and so forth. But here's the thing, just like Google's search algorithm or YouTube's algorithm, if you understand the algorithm and what it specifically is looking for, you can hack the algorithm and get Amazon to pump your business to the moon. If you master the Amazon algorithm, you will become a millionaire, guaranteed. And that's why we're gonna go over this in the first half before we even think about what product to sell or how to manufacture. I promise you, if you keep watching and really understand this stuff, all that other stuff will be a walk in the park, and you'll feel a lot more confident about your actions too. So how does the Amazon algorithm work? Well, Amazon keeps their algorithm a closely guarded secret for obvious reasons, but that's where I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine, Mr. Real Boss Daddy. At his peak, Real Boss Daddy built multiple million-dollar Amazon brands. He also hypothetically, and potentially allegedly, may have seen Amazon's internal code that decides which products get pushed to consumers and which don't. And this is what he found out. So if you're ready to keep going, let's go into step 1. Finding your niche. Step 1 is finding your niche. Here's the thing, there are still millions of winning products to be made. New winning products are being listed on Amazon every day. Every single one of my students are able to find a winning product that they can make. Like my student Colin, who made $60,000 in his first month. Or my student Joey, who made $250,000 in his first month. So it's less about if it's possible for you to come up with a winning product to make, it's more about whatever niche you pick, whatever products you end up selling, you 100% believing in them. This isn't like drop shipping where you just buy some cheap shit made in China and Alibaba and jack the price up and then you try to sell it on Amazon. The ultimate goal here isn't to make a quick buck. The goal is to build an actual long-term brand that will make you millions and allow you to exit for millions more. So whatever you want to create has to be legit. Do you want to make a fitness brand that sells fitness products or a health brand or something else? Think of niches like product departments on Amazon. Your niche could be something related to fitness, health, beauty, fashion, electronics, or any other broader category. The niche you choose should be something that you're really interested in. So if you've never set foot in a gym or done a workout, maybe fitness isn't the right category for you. But if you're someone who's active or health conscious, fitness is definitely a category where you could naturally spot product opportunities. One way to figure out what might be the right niche for you is by looking at things you're really passionate about. It's always easier to spend a lot of time learning and developing a concept if you're actually interested in it, rather than just trying to do it because you think you're going to make a lot of money. So take a second, write down all of the things that you're interested in, passionate about, or hobbies that you generally do. Once you've got a few of these broad categories down, the next step is to start thinking about the types of products that sell within these categories. Maybe there's a product idea you've always thought would be really helpful in this category. Or maybe there's a product you wish that existed, but it doesn't. These ideas are going to be the building blocks for your brand moving forward. And that's exactly how I got my first product idea. Coming from a fitness background, I've always been into optimizing my health. Before I started my first brand, I was looking for a natural pre-workout that didn't contain a long list of harmful chemicals and additives. And even though there were natural pre-workouts available in the supplement world, it was all really questionable stuff. No one had any scientific evidence to back up the claims they made about their products. And even if the ingredients they used were proven to work, they were so underdosed that you'd have to eat that pre-workout with a spoon for it to have any effect. So I decided to make my own clinically dosed, 100% natural alternative. That's why I created the Genius brand, which eventually sold for $30 million. I was then able to develop multiple products off of that first idea, and the same process should apply to you. In this first step, all you're doing is deciding what direction you want to go with your Amazon business. By doing that, you're putting your best foot forward for what comes next, product research. And if what you've got out of this is that you should just make a Genius brand copycat, you are entirely missing the point. I made that brand 8 years ago. Today, the supplement space is completely different with different opportunities and different gaps. What worked then isn't going to work today. But what does work are the fundamentals that we just went over. Finding a niche that you 100% believe in, and then seeing what gaps there are today that you can make a product for. Which brings us to step number 2, brainstorming your $1 million product. Step 2, brainstorming your $1 million product. So let's say you're me and you've decided that your niche is anything related to health, dietary supplements, fitness, or similar categories. What's next? How do you find the next $1 million product to make? Well, I have 3 simple ways for you. Number 1, TikTok. One of the easiest ways to find a product right now is to look at what's trending on TikTok. Think of TikTok as like your crystal ball into the future. The products and things that eventually become mainstream always start on TikTok first, simply because of how fast people can make a TikTok versus something like YouTube. This means that new trends happen way faster and way more often over there. So if you want to see where the market and where the world is heading, study TikTok. New products and trends are starting on TikTok all the time. In my niche of health supplements, you'll see thousands of people on TikTok posting about stuff like bee pollen, sea moss, Shilajit.
Shilajit, it can help cognitive function, things like learning and memory, has anti-aging potential because it supports cell health, and there's a bunch of other benefits that come with it as well.
Bee pollen contains vitamins and minerals, amino acids, enzymes, small molecules like polyphenols and alkaloids. It's great for skin health.
Show me something that TikTok overhyped, but actually got it right. I use it like there's no tomorrow.
Take Shilajit, for example. There is so much hype around it, but if you try Shilajit, it is very unpleasant to take. It's sticky, you make a mess, it tastes bitter. So one example of a product you could come up with is Shilajit, but in a capsule, so it's easy to swallow. There's already a few products like this, but their branding sucks and they don't have many reviews. So there's one product idea for you already. Or maybe you remember the rice water and rosemary oil trend for hair growth. Or when all of TikTok was going absolutely nuts for Ozempic. People were so obsessed with its weight loss effects that when the drug became too expensive and difficult to get, they actually tried creating budget Ozempic, which was literally just daily high doses of laxative and stool softeners. And yet, no one saw the opportunity for a natural alternative product that wasn't going to make you shit your pants. All of these trends could be made into $1 million product on Amazon. So start scrolling on TikTok now, see what the new trend is, and see what you can improve upon with all of these products. The second way to find a winning product is to simply look at what's popular on Amazon already in your niche and see if you can make any improvements to it. One idea I told my students recently are these posture corrector sticks. You've seen these ads before. They are inherently really viral products. They sell like crazy, but the problem is that one quick search on Amazon and you'll see that most of them are just cheap plastic and super low quality. And they don't have that many reviews, so it'll be a lot easier to outrank them later. And boom, there's your gap. I could easily imagine someone going to a manufacturer and simply asking them to make a higher quality version made out of wood or metal, giving it a nice modern aesthetic, and then jacking up the price from 20 to 50 or even more. You know these products sell. You know they're viral. You massively improve upon the product, and then with your higher price, you have way more higher margins and much more firepower to play with. And from there, I can imagine someone building a whole wellness brand out of this with other similar wellness products. This is how you build a real sustainable brand. And oh look, that's exactly what someone did with this wooden one that has so many great reviews already. So look at what's already selling on Amazon and see what improvements you can make to make it a better product and sell it for a higher price. The third way to easily find a winning product is to simply look at hobbies or passions you already have. I'm really into Muay Thai and kickboxing. I'm not saying this is a niche you should get into, but just for the sake of this example, in Muay Thai, I already know what gloves I like, what kind of shin guards I like. I also know what the shortcomings of these products are since I use them so much. So if I just sat down for literally 5 minutes to brainstorm, I could totally come up with a lot of different products that customers would love. So look at what you're interested in. You already know the products in that industry pretty intimately. See what improvements can be made from there. So there you have it. To find $1 million product, you want to, number 1, look on TikTok to see what's trending and see what you can improve upon. Number 2, look at what's already selling on Amazon and see what you can improve upon. Or number 3, look at what you're already into and see what you can improve upon. The keyword here is improve. If you just sell just another posture corrector stick that you got from China that is cheap and flimsy as the other ones on Amazon right now, you're not giving people a strong reason to buy your piece of trash over theirs. But more on that later. Because before we invest any money or time into the idea, we want to make sure that our product idea actually has enough potential on Amazon. Step 3, validate your ideas. Remember how I talked about ranking for keywords on Amazon is the key to getting passive sales on autopilot? Well, the purpose of this step is to make sure that there's enough opportunity on Amazon for us to get our product ranking right away when we launch so that we can guarantee that we will get some sales on autopilot. This step is extremely important. This is how you guarantee that you make money right off the bat instead of having a dead product with a bunch of inventory collecting dust at Amazon. And here's the thing. One of the main things that determines how high your product ranks on Amazon is how many reviews it has. So if you try to rank your product on keywords where there are already products with thousands upon thousands of reviews, it's going to be impossible and you're not going to get any sales. For example, take a look at the keyword posture corrector. 6,000 reviews, 2,500 reviews, 44,000 reviews. There's absolutely no way you can rank a new product for this keyword in any reasonable amount of time. Maybe after a year or two, but we want sales now. Instead, the whole name of the game is to find keywords that don't have much competition, jam them into your title and description so that when you launch, you can easily rank for them and get passive sales. Keywords like pull to crack back, where the top products only have 300 reviews, 15 reviews, 200 reviews. This is much easier for you to climb to the top and take their sales. Or take the keyword back crack pull. Same thing, 300 reviews, 18 reviews, 200 reviews. And guess what? Pull to crack back gets 245 searches a month and around 9 sales per month. And back crack pull gets 300 searches a month and around 10 sales per month. That means if all you did was create an improved posture corrector stick, jam these keywords into the title and description of your listing, and do everything else I tell you in this video, you're pretty much going to be guaranteed to capture a lot of these sales that these search terms get. And you'll naturally climb higher to the top of these other search terms as well. You'll eventually start to rank for big keywords. But we don't want just 2 great keywords like this. No, we want as many as possible. And the way we're easily going to find them is my favorite tool called Helium 10. This is the tool that I use, and I'll link to it below. And once you're in, you're going to want to go to the Magnet Keyword Research tool. Let's say you're me again a couple years back, and you're thinking about creating a natural testosterone booster. You would search for the keyword testosterone booster. Click enter. And what you get is a giant list of keywords related to testosterone booster. It looks like a lot of information, but the only 2 numbers you should care about are search volume and Magnet IQ score. The search volume is exactly what it sounds like, the number of people searching for that keyword every month. While the Magnet IQ score is a score that is based on how many searches a keyword gets versus how much competition that keyword has. So the higher the Magnet IQ score, the better. In this case, the search volume for testosterone booster is around 80,000, while the Magnet IQ score is also about 80,000. Your goal is to go down this list and find as many keywords as possible that have 1, a Magnet IQ score of at least 10,000, 2, search volumes of at least 300 to 500 searches a month. The higher the better, but 300 to 500 monthly searches is the absolute minimum you should search for. And 3, most importantly, you want to click on the keyword which will take you to Amazon and make sure that that keyword isn't filled with a bunch of products with thousands of reviews. And as you find these golden keywords, you want to make a list of all of them. And you want to keep building the list of the keywords until all of the keywords end up adding up to 10,000 searches a month. Why 10,000 searches a month? Because if you can make sure that you'll be able to rank in the top of at least 10,000 searches a month, you're guaranteeing your success. You are guaranteeing that you will at least make a decent amount of money. So you want to spend some time and get this part right. And do not move forward with your product until you get up to 10,000 searches. Back to my testosterone booster example. I usually start by sorting related keywords by number of keyword sales. This means looking at which related keywords to testosterone booster are getting the most sales. In this case, it's stuff like ashwagandha, weight loss, Tongat Ali, and wouldn't you know it, even my brand Kingmaker is right there at the top for sales. So right off the bat, I already know that including ingredients like ashwagandha and Tongat Ali are going to help make my product more popular and sought after. Another metric that's great to sort by is search volume. According to Magnet, the keywords related to testosterone booster that get searched the most often are things like weight loss, glucosamine, and even sleep. A quick Google search tells me that glucosamine is a supplement that aids in reducing joint pain. And immediately I'm thinking, if I create one testosterone boosting product that's going to increase energy levels and improve performance, obviously there's also a market for a T booster that helps men sleep better and recover from their workouts with less pain. And boom, I've already got 2 product ideas that have a solid amount of interest and sales potential on Amazon. And side note, I actually did end up creating a second product. It's called Alpha Grind PM. With Magnet, there's really no limit to how far down the rabbit hole you can go to find inspiration for your products. One related keyword is ashwagandha gummies, and that's already a great idea for an entirely different product that will cater to the same market. Another way to find powerful keywords is by doing a reverse ASIN search on your competitors' top products. To do this, use the Cerebro tool in Helium 10. And basically, you copy the ASIN number for the most competitive or popular product you can find when you search testosterone boosters on Amazon. You input that number into the Cerebro search tool, and it basically reverse engineers that product page to give you all of the keywords and related products to that ASIN. And that's kind of how this step works. You might have an idea of a product you want to create once you start this process of validating it on Helium, but as you go through it, you might realize that there's not enough keywords for that product you originally wanted to, or maybe that it's too competitive. But you're also going to find a ton of other product ideas that may be way better for you to start with. Creating a great product may just mean following these kind of breadcrumb trails of related keywords, trending content on TikTok, and using your imagination and experience in that niche to guide you to a great idea. Once you've collected the keywords that add up to at least 10,000 search volume for a product you want to create, the next step is narrowing it down to the very best and most relevant choices. You can do this by considering their IQ scores, search volume, whether they're trending up or down for search volume, and any other magnet metrics you think are important. What you need to do is cut that list down to 20 or so of the best keywords for launch. The keywords you have the best possible chance to rank on and occupy the top space. You'll need these later when you create the Amazon listings title and description. Now, when the algorithm analyzes your product page, it'll know exactly the type of shopper your product will appeal to. The same shopper is targeted by all of your competitors who use those same keywords. And since you cast a wide net with a lot of different keywords and phrases, this gives you the best chance to rank and capture traffic without paying for expensive PPC campaigns. And even if the specifics aren't set in stone yet and you're still torn between ideas, that's totally fine, because this is where the next step comes in. Step 4, perfecting your product. Now it's time to get clear on how much your potential product will cost, what you're going to sell it for, and looking into how to get it manufactured. That way we know if the numbers make sense before we waste any more time. A lot of people are intimidated by this step, but it's surprisingly easy. There's an entire industry of white label manufacturers that are happy to do everything for you, and they're just a Google search away. But before we get into that, we first got to talk about the most important thing: your cost and how much you're going to sell it for. If you want to make a lot of money fast, you obviously want as high of a profit margin as possible. Ideally, you want to choose a product that you can sell for 10x what it costs you to produce. So if something costs you $5 to manufacture, you want to be able to easily sell it for at least $50. But profit margin is only half of the story. You also want to make sure that you can sell your product for a high dollar amount. For example, Kingmaker is $130. I make great margins on it, but it's also a high dollar amount. A high dollar amount means that I have a lot of room to play with advertising, influencer campaigns, and it just makes life way easier. The last thing you want is a really high margin product that sells for $5 or $7, because at the end of the day, even if you have 90% profit margins on a $1 product, it's still just 90 cents, which means you're going to grow way slower, have less room for error, and it's just going to be horrible. Trust me, back when I was running Genius, I had this great idea for a better alternative to 5-hour energy. We made it, it was a great product, but because we had to sell it for such a low price, it just didn't work out and it was very hard to scale. So as you're planning out your product, make sure you can sell it for a high price with high margins. But the highest price possible with the biggest margins possible aren't going to matter if your product sucks. If you have a great product that customers genuinely love using, it's like a leaf blowing in the wind. As long as you do all of the stuff I talk about in this video, the Amazon algorithm will do its thing and you'll be printing money. But if you have a janky product that you rush, that isn't pleasant to use, that doesn't work half the time, no matter how many great keywords you find, no matter if you perfectly execute all of the tactics I talk about in this video, your product will be like a rock blowing in the wind. No matter how much the wind blows, your product will fall flat and it won't go anywhere long term. And I'm not joking when I say getting this step exactly right is crucial to your success. No one wants a bad product. No one's going to buy a bad product for a second time. So take your time and do it right. And only once you're 100% confident that you've got a great product that stands out against the rest of the competition on Amazon should you move forward. Thankfully, it's really not as hard as it sounds. It just takes a little time. The first step is finding a manufacturer. Like I mentioned earlier, this is surprisingly easy. If you're making supplements, Google supplement contract manufacturer and you will be gifted with a giant list of manufacturers that are just waiting to help out people like you. Do this for whatever product you're trying to create. Look at the reviews for some of them, make sure there's no red flags, and then get on the phone with them and tell them, hey, I'm launching this new brand. We're going to start with this product before expanding into these other products. And here's exactly what I'm looking for in my first product. Can you do it? What's your minimum order quantity? And how much is it going to cost? A lot of these manufacturers have specialists and chemists and other experts on hand that can help design the perfect product for you. They can recommend ingredients, design choices. They can make sure it meets regulations and so on, because they want to help you win, so you come back to them for more business. But the more clear you are on what you want from the start, the easier and faster the process is going to be. For example, I want these specific ingredients with this specific type of magnesium sourced in America with vegan capsules, and so on and so forth. I recommend getting quotes from a couple of different manufacturers. Again, you're looking for the price per unit, the minimum order quantity, and any other development or setup costs. And you're also comparing how their customer service is, how attentive they are they going to be a pain in the ass to work with long term, and so on and so forth. I've found that really big manufacturers that only specialize in manufacturing really large quantities are very hard to work with, especially in the beginning. Really, small manufacturers are going to be a lot more attentive, but they might not be as reliable. So ideally, you want to find a medium-sized manufacturer that has the capability and wants your business. Once you find a manufacturer you like, they're typically going to want you to put a deposit down to develop the product. This is when they're going to come up with the first draft of the product, send it to you for feedback, and then it's your job to go back and forth with them until you have a truly great product. Remember, if you don't have a great product, none of the other stuff is going to matter. You want to go through as many iterations as possible until you have a product that can be a leaf blowing in the wind. These back and forth revisions can take a lot of time, so just be prepared for that. They'll also give you the dimensions for how big the label or packaging design will be, which we'll go over in the next step. But once you have a product you're happy with, then the manufacturer will typically want you to put down a deposit to get the first batch started. While that is going on, that's when you can start the fun stuff that everyone loves, designing your brand. Once you have a great product, having a great brand is the next important step. Having a great brand will not only make it easier to get sales because you have a brand that speaks to your target customer, but if you have a legit looking brand, it will also help you with selling your business in the future. I could make an entire hour-long video on building a brand alone, but here's what you need to know. When it comes to your brand, you want everything from your label to your packaging to your marketing materials to call out to your target customer. Take my brand Top Shelf Grind, for example. There's a reason why I went all out with the masculinity and Gen Z angle on all of the labels and designs. From Break the Simulation on the label of Alpha Grind to Forbidden Riz activation on our new Love Bombed Pheromone Cologne, which is absolutely crushing it, by the way, to things like this product image on Kingmaker. You may think some of this stuff is cheesy, but if you look at my sales numbers, it obviously works because I'm directly calling out to who my target customer is. There's only so many touch points you have to communicate with potential customers. From your label, to your product images, to your product description images. You want to use all of them to your advantage to tell people who this product and brand is for and who it's not for. So who is your product for? Males, females, 18 to 25-year-olds, or 50 to 60-year-olds? What are they interested in? What kind of aesthetics do they typically like? This is why it helps if you choose something that you're genuinely interested in, because the chances are that other people who also believe in your product are going to share your ideas of what looks cool and sounds cool. Since you are already your own target customer, whatever appeals to you is also going to appeal to other ideal customers. So once you're clear on that, then it's time for the fun stuff, figuring out the name of your brand and designing everything. Traditionally, it takes months for businesses to decide on names, logos, and branding for their products, but not for you. Luckily, we live in the age of technology. So instead of spending months drawing up logos and ideas thinking of your business name, just let AI do the brainstorming for you. It's really that simple. The only thing you need to put any real thought into is the message or the story you want to tell with your brand. For brand name, use a tool like Namelix. It's a free AI-powered business name generator that specializes in business names that don't sound like they are generated by AI. Again, everything I mentioned will be linked below next to that subscribe button. All you need to do is input the keywords most relevant to your product and brand, answer a couple of questions about the vibe you're going for, choose a few names and logos that appeal to you, and literally seconds later, Namelix will spit out at least 50 potential names for your business. When I did a little test run of this, I used keywords like testosterone booster, alpha male, and workout supplement. And honestly, a surprising percentage of the names that the AI generated were very solid. Some of my favorites included Urban Alpha, Savage Supplements. Even if nothing jumps out at you after the first search, you can always tweak your inputs until you find a name that really checks all of your boxes. But for the purpose of this lesson, let's say I decide on the name Savage Supplements for my hypothetical brand. Whatever name you pick, you want to do a free trademark search on USPTO website to make sure that there aren't any similar brand names that could potentially cause trouble for you down the road. What's next? Well, a killer name needs a killer logo, right? Luckily, AI can handle that too. And one of the best logo generators around is Luca. Just like with Namelix, you input a few important details about the look you are aiming for with your brand. Add in your business name, in this case, Savage Supplements, choose the colors and logo examples that best match what you're going for, and less than a minute later, Luca will spit out a whole bunch of quality logos that you can use as is, or have a graphic designer tweak the best option to match your vision a little bit better. Once you've got a name and logo ready, the next thing you'll work on is packaging. That includes any labels or design work that goes into the packaging of your product. And for this, it's best to work with a graphic designer. Luckily, there are a lot of really good graphic designers that are shockingly affordable. I recommend going on Behance or Dribbble, just searching for a supplement label or whatever you're looking for. And as you can see, there are a ton of high quality designers to choose from. Choose a few that you like and message them with what you need to get a quote. Some designers on those platforms are better than others, so to give yourself the best chance at getting it right from the start, I'd suggest creating a Google Doc with as much information as possible on the design and content that you're looking for. That means including your company name, your logo, preferred fonts, color scheme, and pointers on the vibe you're aiming for. Just like before, the more clear you are on what you want, the better results you're going to get. So I recommend finding some examples of other labels that you like and then sending it to them along with exactly what you would like to change. This is also where really listening to your gut comes in handy. Since you are technically your business's ideal customer, you'll be in the best position to focus on how each design makes you feel, whether it meshes with the message behind your brand and whether it looks like something you would buy if you came across it online. Once you have a packaging design you're happy with, you're going to need to get a barcode to put on your packaging. Specifically, you're going to need what is called a GS1 barcode. You'll need a GS1 barcode to create an ASIN on Amazon, which is basically just another product ID number. Getting one is easy. Just go to gs1us.org. It's about $250 for 10 barcodes, which you can use for 10 different products or variations you end up selling in the future. Have your designer put one of these barcodes onto your packaging design, and then you're finally ready to send the design over to the manufacturer. They'll make sure the dimensions are right and that it meets all of the requirements, and they'll work on getting it printed. Now that your label is done, you can also start working on getting some product images made that you can use in your Amazon listing and other marketing materials. There are two routes for this. You can give a sample to a product photographer you find online. The problem with this is that you have to wait for the manufacturer to finish the sample and send it to you. The other route is you can hire a 3D render artist that can make a 3D render of your product. You can find one of these artists on Behance or Dribbble again. And the benefit of this route is that you can get this done earlier once your label is done, as long as you know what the container is going to look like the bottle or the jar that the product is going to be in. At this point, you're also going to want to register your business. Most likely, you're just going to need to form an LLC, but confirm with an accountant or lawyer if you're not sure. There are tons of websites where you can register it online for very little money, or you can have a lawyer or accountant do it for you. Once you reach this step, chances are things are going to start feeling very real. At this point, you've already done more than 99% of what the masses ever will. Most of the heavy lifting is over. Now it's time to take it across the finish line. Step 6, set up your Amazon seller account. Setting up your Amazon Seller Central account and getting verified. This is what's going to allow you to sell your products on Amazon, and it's a pretty straightforward process. All you do is go to Amazon Seller Central platform and hit sign me up. Once you do, it's going to ask you for some basic information about yourself and your business, so have all of that stuff ready. Once you've submitted all this information, you may also need to do a face-to-face interview with an Amazon associate to seal the deal. This isn't anything to stress about. They're most likely just trying to weed out fake accounts. So they'll set up a time for the interview, and you'll just need to bring along some form of ID and a few business documents to verify. But it's really nothing to be nervous over. Just get it done and let's get your Amazon brand up and rolling. Once you are approved and officially in Seller Central, here's what that's going to look like. You're going to see a whole bunch of drop-down menus for stuff like inventory, pricing, stores, performance, etc., etc. And this right here is where you're going to live and breathe as an Amazon seller. Seller Central is where you're going to track your sales, inventory, and everything else in between. This is also a good time to get the product listing started on Amazon. This is where you'll enter in that GS1 barcode you got for your product, so you'll need to have that handy. Everything I've shown you up until this point has been pretty generic, foundation level stuff. The kind of information you probably find in most Amazon FBA courses. And even though it's mostly been run of the mill, step 7 is where things start to get very interesting. You've already covered the basics of your brand and designing your packaging, but now it's time to go even deeper. Because remember, aside from actually having a great product, having a great brand is the next most important thing that's going to make getting customers and money a lot more effortless. And the secret to this is making the customer the hero. See, most people go on and on bragging about how great their product is, how great their company is. Everything is about me, me, me. I'm the hero. But if you think about it, people are inherently narcissistic. They don't want to hear about how you are so great. In their eyes, they are the main character in their story. They are the hero, not you. They want to hear about how you can help them. That's why to really connect with customers, you need to make them the center of your brand, not your brand or product. How is your product going to help them on their hero's journey? For example, this product image we made for Kingmaker literally says the customer can literally lead to them having a Greek god physique. Or this one for our King Dip pouches on how it will set their mind free and put their performance into God mode. All of these things are literally framing the customer as the hero, and my brand Top Shelf as the wise guide that they meet along the way that offers them supernatural aid so they can conquer their journey. Your customer should be the Hobbit, and your brand should be the wise old Gandalf that guides them on their journey. So as you set out crafting your brand messaging, you should do it from the point of view of this character, your customer, who has a problem or need. Maybe it's a problem they're aware of, for example, smoking or obesity. And maybe it's a problem you need to make them aware of, like fluoride in the water. Once you've shown them what sort of evil their hero character is facing, you need to position your product as the thing that will give them the power to overcome their problem and be the hero of their own story. And even though you are telling them that your product is part of the solution, the real magic of this type of messaging lies in keeping them front and center. Kind of like if your customer was Thor and your product was Thor's hammer. Thor is still the hero, but he wouldn't be without his hammer. That's the message and vibe you need to go for. And using this to guide your thoughts, all that's left is to focus on telling your brand story authentically, passionately, and clearly. And remember, it's not about all the features that make your product great. It's about how the customer is going to feel and be better with the product in their life. That's where the secret to great marketing lies. Now, this might take a while for you to perfect. You might also want to get outside feedback and commentary on your messaging as you go. But once you've nailed your brand story, all the other writing for your product description, marketing material, and so on are going to come together a whole lot easier. Step 8, the proof is in the copy. So you've got your brand story down to an art form. Now it's time to take that brand story to the people. This is the step where you actually sit down and create all of the written content for your Amazon listing. The title and the 5 bullet points Amazon gives you under the About This Item section are simple. You want to jam in as many keywords that you found as possible. This is how you're going to rank for those keywords as you start getting sales and reviews. But the text you put in the product images and under product description section is where you can really start to tell the brand story that we just talked about. And one of the best ways to do that, especially if you're feeling lost about where to start, is by using Copy AI. I've been using Copy AI for years now to give me writing direction, and it's been super helpful for when I'm feeling uninspired. And here's how it works. Once you sign up to Copy AI, you'll have access to a bunch of tools that make creating on-point content easy. And for this example, we can go back to using Savage Supplements as my hypothetical brand. First off, you'll need to define your brand voice. You do this by writing between 50 and 500 words of content that reflects the brand voice you want and the message that you want to share. I took a few minutes out of my day to write around 60 words about how Savage Supplements brings out the inner savage in all of us. And within seconds, Copy AI had my brand voice analyzed to perfection. Here's the info I was given after submitting my text. You can show this online as if it was written by Copy AI as a good example of what the platform does. Bold, assertive, empowering, and masculine. Savage Supplements speaks to the modern man who is ready to take control of his life and health. The brand's voice is a blend of a motivational coach and a trusted friend, using strong, direct language to inspire action and commitment. It's not about sugarcoating or being subtle. It's about raw power and the will to fight. When writing for Savage Supplements, be sure to use powerful verbs and phrases that evoke strength and resilience. Speak directly to the audience's struggles and aspirations, reminding them of their potential for greatness. Use language that reinforces the brand's mission of unlocking masculine power and vitality. Remember, Savage Supplements isn't just about selling supplements. It's selling a lifestyle of strength, determination, and relentless pursuit of personal excellence. Within seconds, Copy AI knew I was going for bold, assertive messaging, and that my tone was a blend of a motivational coach and a trusted friend. It also noted that the brand voice should include vocabulary that evokes strength and resilience. Not bad for AI considering I gave it minimal input and Savage Supplements doesn't even exist. Once you are happy with what Copy AI is generating, you'll want to use that for your Amazon product description. If you look at the Amazon product descriptions of best-selling products, they almost always have these cool graphics in the description. Although you can just have text, this is the way to go. So you'll want to give the text and have them come up with some cool banners like these for your Amazon listing. Another thing you'll notice is that some of these product images at the top are usually graphics like these. These graphics usually are used to give the customer a quick glance at the benefits and features of your product. So you'll want to get some of these made with your designer too. I may not rely on Copy AI to write all of my content for me, but it's definitely one of the best places to get started when you have no idea what to say. And it will give you a very solid foundation to work on as you flesh out your website and marketing materials. Now you're ready for the next step, the launch list. Step 10, the final countdown. Somewhere around this time, your first order from your manufacturer should be nearing completion. They'll want you to pay the remaining money you owe them for it. Then it's time to create a shipment in Seller Central and send Amazon your inventory. To do this, you'll go to your Seller Central account, click on inventory, then shipments, and from there, you will create a shipment that will be shipped to an Amazon warehouse. Give that to your manufacturer and they'll get it sent off to Amazon. You should also have them send you a few samples as well. You should also start thinking about how you're going to manage inventory. Straight up, if there's one thing Amazon hates more than anything, it's running out of stock for a new product. There's no better way to guarantee to kill your momentum than running out of stock on day 25 of your launch and then having to wait weeks to replenish your inventory. So one of the most important things to do at this point is to make sure you have enough product to match demand. If your launch list contains 1,000 names, you should have at least double that in inventory. And once your inventory is at Amazon, your Amazon listing is all set up with your title, keywords, description, and images, and your launch list is ready, it's finally time for the moment you've been waiting for. Step 11, going live. Once you click publish on your product, that 90-day grace period starts ticking. Step 12, scale up. If you nailed the launch, you should be raking in money on autopilot as Amazon continues to recommend your product. But why stop there? If you want to eventually sell your business for a giant payday like how I sold Genius for $30 million, then investors like to see that you have an entire product line instead of having just one product. They want to see that you have a true brand. So that's why the next step is to simply rinse and repeat this process. Find more products to launch under your brand name. That's what I did with Genius. Our first product was Genius Pre, and after that, we launched Genius Consciousness, Genius Joy, Genius Mushrooms, and so many others. And I'm doing the same thing right now with Top Shelf. One of the first products I started with was Alpha Grind, a nootropic coffee, then Kingmaker, then King Dip, and now we just launched Love Bombed, a pheromone cologne. You want a whole suite of products that are all tied to your mission. In this case, helping men redefine masculinity. And the great thing is that with every new product you launch, it becomes a little bit easier. You have more fans, more customers, so launching the second one is a little easier. Then the third one becomes even easier, and so on. And if you want to really pour gasoline on the fire, then the next big thing is TikTok Shop. I've started selling supplements on TikTok Shop recently, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this is the biggest opportunity I've seen since the early days of Amazon. If you want to learn more about how TikTok Shop is minting the next generation of millionaires, I have a video on this that you can watch after this video by simply clicking the link below. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, Rob the Bank, where I'm able to share the TikTok Shop game way faster. And once you build out your product line and you're making $500,000 per month, $1 million per month, or even doing it like I was with Genius, then it's finally time to start thinking about the real payday, selling your business. Step 13, sell. Selling your Amazon business is surprisingly simple as long as you have a really well-developed brand and a business like I taught you how to create here. This is because there's a whole market of businesses and private equity firms where their whole goal is to mine brands like yours, buy them out, and either integrate them into their own business or just try to sell them for a higher price later on. A big, reputable Amazon FBA brand with solid reviews and product delivery is always going to have interest from buyers. One of the reasons for this is because of how stable Amazon businesses are. Unlike other investments, an Amazon business's revenue is pretty stable, and that makes them very attractive to investors. That's why they were willing to pay so much for Genius. Now, although selling an Amazon business is simple, the actual experience I went through with selling mine was one of the most stressful times of my life since I didn't know what I was doing. But lucky for you, you can learn from my mistakes to prepare yourself for when that day comes when you get your own big exit. If you want the whole story, along with all of the details on how these deals work, I go over everything in this video of mine that I'll also link below. Watch it after you finish this video. And although that 30 million definitely changed my life forever, I had no idea the kind of money these private equity firms were willing to pay for a business like mine. And looking back, I could probably have gotten even more for the brand than the offer that I ended up accepting. But that isn't really the point. The point is that today, you can grow a brand from scratch with not that much work, without manufacturing it yourself, without needing a warehouse, without fulfilling it yourself, without even marketing it yourself once you get the Amazon algorithm going. And then you can sell the brand for tens of millions of dollars and be free forever. And now you have all the secrets to the game that I've spent the last 9 years perfecting. So here's what you need to do if you're serious about getting started. 1, rewatch parts of these videos you were confused about. 2, I've already said it, but make sure you're following me on Instagram at RobTheBank. That's where I can share the latest game faster before I can share it on YouTube. 3, start thinking about what niche and product you may want to go into first, and maybe start doing some keyword research. And 4, if you want me to personally vet your brand, vet your product idea, and you want to get the latest strategies that I'm using right now to scale my current brands to the moon, then I highly recommend that you apply for $1 Million Brand Club with the link below. Our students are absolutely crushing it, like Griffin, who's doing $100,000 per month, or like Mason, who's already broken $1 million in his first year. So if you want to learn directly from me and be around these killers, with the link below. It's not required. You can absolutely start with everything I taught you already, but I can confidently say that this is the closest thing to a cheat code out there. I've got a lot of new brands that I'm working on and a lot of new tactics that I can't wait to share with you. So until next time.